have more money. We have more money now. But where is the money? Yeah? There is more. Well, I think some of you are already bored of Koolu and his lies, right? Let's listen to a little bit more, and then we'll call it off. I will go to something concerning this Nigeria at 65. Where's Nigeria going to be at? Nigeria at 70, 70. So that would be like a year 2030, right? So Nigeria will be like 70 years. So if Koolu is still your president by then, he will still be reminding you of inheriting a bad economy. Okay, but he's now going to leave this country for you like on a very sound, better place. No matter waiting that they go through that time, he go still tell you, say, in do you favor. Some lies that they believe themselves.
And the Kaduna-Kano Red Line are nearing completion. Work is progressing well on Legacy Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Sokoto-Badagry Highway. The Federal Executive Council recently approved $3 billion to complete the Eastern Railway project. The world is taking notice of our efforts. Sovereign credit rating agencies have upgraded our outlook for Nigeria, recognizing our improved economic fundamentals. Our stock market is experiencing an unprecedented boom, rising from all-share index of 55,000 points in May 2003 to 142,000 points as of September 26, 2025. At its last MPC meeting, the central bank slashed interest rate for the first time in 5 years, expressing confidence in our country's macroeconomic stability. On security, we are working diligently to enhance national security, ensuring our economic experiences improved growth and performance. The officers and men of our armed forces and other security agencies are working tirelessly and making significant sacrifices to keep us safe. They are winning the war against terrorism, banditry, and other violent crimes. We see their victories in their blood and sweat to stamp out Boko Haram terror in the northeast, IPOB ESN terror in southeast, and banditry and kidnapping. We must continue to celebrate their gallantry and salute their courage on behalf of a grateful nation. Peace has returned to hundreds of our liberated communities in the northwest and northeast, and thousands of our people have returned safely to their homes. I have a message for you, you young people. You are the future and the greatest asset of this blessed country. You must continue to dream big, innovate, and conquer more territories in your various fields of science, technology, sport, and art and creative sector. Our administration, through policies and funding, will continue to give you wings to fly sky high. We created NEL Fund to support students with loans for their educational pursuits. Approximately 510,000 students across 32 states of the Federation, including FCT, have benefited from this initiative, covering 228 higher institutions. As of September 10, the total loan disbursed was 99.5 billion, while the upkeep allowance stood as 44.7 billion. Credit Corp, another initiative of our administration, has granted over 153,000 Nigerians 30 billion affordable loans for vehicles, solar energy, home upgrades, digital devices, and more. Youth Credit, which I promised last June, is a reality, with tens of thousands of NYSC members now active beneficiaries of consumer credit for resettlement. Under our Renew Hope agenda, we promise to build a Nigeria where every young person, regardless of background, has an equitable opportunity to access a better future. Thus, the investment in digital and creative enterprise, IDICE program, the Bank of Industry, is driving the program in collaboration with the African Development Bank. the French Development Agency, and the Islamic Development Bank. This initiative is at the cusp of implementation. Our last 2 years, we have collaborated with our partners to launch the program, supporting our young builders and dreamers in the technology and creative sector. This is a message of hope, fellow Nigerians. I've always candidly acknowledged that this reform have come with some temporary pains. The biting effects of inflation and the rising cost of living remains a significant concern to our government. However, the alternative of allowing our country to descend into economic chaos or bankruptcy was not an option. Our macroeconomic progress has proven that our sacrifices have not been in vain. Together, we are laying a new foundation cast in concrete, not on quicksand. The accurate measure of our success.
I think na statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it.
Koolu. But let me remind you something. Let me remind you of something. Koolu and this gang want you to believe that even if you don't like him, the idea of giving loan to students who are poor is not that a bad idea now. A lot of people have condemned it by giving their own different reasons. I mean, that's your opinion, which is free. Oh, well, who will give them job that they will use to pay the loan back? How many people will get the loan, this and that, all your concerns and worries and all that, they are legit and valid. But there's something you should know that will make you understand that there is no evil that exists right now that affects lives of millions of people than anything APC. Egbekegbe. Before Tinubu came, right? Before, or should I say even when he was governor, there's something called the MDG rather, Millennium Development Goals, which covers areas like, environment, healthcare, education, access to education, and the rest of that. But prior, Nigeria had a system which is somehow as criminally minded as those guys before this APC, Egbekegbe, as they were. Their greed was kind of like managed in a way, okay? See, when it comes to subsidy, they deliberately sabotaged the country's refineries so that they will be importing fuel. And the criminals in government allowed that. But nevertheless, they believe that it will still give the people the cheap fuel, which mostly is the driver of Nigeria's economy per se, that fuel. Once it changes, everything changes today with everything. So they maintained it over the years. So many of them got rich and they managed the poverty in Nigeria. But when the PC came, right, when Tinubu came, he removed the subsidy, then promised them that he will give something back to cushion the effect that he never did, other than sharing money. Because to them, we give 25,000 naira to people, or 75,000 naira to them in 3 tranches, right? That is us lifting them out of poverty. 75,000 naira, 3 times, probably for 3 months. And that's it. You get that now? It's not like, oh yeah, you're on benefit and they are giving you 25,000 naira pocket money every month until you find a job, right? So there was no need to give anybody money in Nigeria until APC Egbekegbe came. And the idea of sharing money did not even come from Bokwari. It came from Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, when they said they wanted to lift 10 million Nigerians out of poverty. They were giving them 10,000 naira to go and do any business. Now talking about people doing business. Before APC Egbekegbe came in, hang on, let me finish that of the education. On that education part, right? Education in Nigeria, when it comes to the federal and state, they are highly subsidized. And the reason is very simple. That people are so poor that even these guys who call themselves economists, both local and foreign, they understand the fact that Nigeria's education is the cheapest and it is on purpose. Do you get that now? Not that Nigerians don't go elsewhere, even within Nigeria as well, to acquire expensive education. That has always been the like existing. But alternatively for the entire population is that a subsidized education. And that is why you saw people who went to Unilag, as prestigious and famous as Unilag is, right? You will hear people who tell you that their own, what do you call it, their school fees, right, per semester or so was somewhere around 1,500 naira. And they will be complaining not because of their tuition, they will be complaining about their rent or their hostel or house rent or whatever around their schools. When it comes to their education, right, there's no cutthroat. And that was deliberate. Simply means that you have that choice. And if you do not have the money to go and acquire this expensive education, you will still have access to quality education. But they destroyed all of that. So Tinubu now came, removed that subsidy, no money for anybody again, because there's no money, which now gave the school management in Nigeria, government schools, so they are now charging almost as much as private schools in Nigeria. There are over 10 million Nigerians who are in public universities. And I'm being conservative by managing the number, over 10 million of them. Tinubu, your president, that removed subsidy for 10 million people, then said he's giving loan, student loan. And he has given in 2 years, they have given student loan to 510,000 people. Wow, that's great. This must be a visionary leader. So you see the rest who are lost in the shovel, they are being promised that to still get to them, the application is being processed. When more money is available, they will get money too, and the rest of that. But a system where the Ministry of Education gets their allocation, the school management gets theirs, and this correct. I mean, that's how they run their system in that place. So if the government says I'm no longer involved, but at the same time turn around and say, okay, I'm involved, but I'm going to give you a short loan that you pay me back when you get a job. They want you to praise that. Giving money to young entrepreneurs in Nigeria, there's something called You Win. I don't know if you remember, You Win. Hmm? Thank you, Jerry. Chuk. Chuck, you now you get time. I explained it from the start that it will be boring if you have to sit through and be listening to. So I increased the speed, and I'm glad that we're over it. It's like so that's what happened. Indeed. So back to the story. Before APC, there's something called You Win, and there are so many other series of kind of like programs like that. This was an idea put together by the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to help the young people, young entrepreneurs who have smart ideas. So they had this kind of like conference of a thing where everyone came, presented their own business ideas, the blueprint and workability and everything. Baba, people who won walked on with 10 million naira. 10 million naira back then is like this current today, make government come they write you the check of 250 million naira. Say, oh yeah, go start business. No. 100 and let's say write you a check of 160 million naira because your business idea is among the ones that they picked or that won in that engagement. And then you have enough to go and start that idea. Go. APC, Egbekegbe came in. They cancelled it. They started sharing 10,000 naira. And they were making a big fuss about it, right? That the poorest people are now getting, they are now getting the support they needed. You don't understand. 10,000 naira, although that 10,000 naira back then is like 100,000 naira now. No joke. All right. So 10,000 naira. Do you know what business they can do? How much do you think it takes to start a roadside corn seller? How much do you think it takes to start a sachet water business? They glorified it until the minister they appointed to be sharing that kind of money is now accused of squandering over 4 trillion naira. 4 trillion naira. That's how much Shadia eventually mismanaged. I don't want to say stole, because she probably didn't do it alone. In the space of 4 years, 4 trillion naira. It was so bad that a court in Nigeria ruled that the immediate minister in charge of that sharing of money that they put in place to replace all those stuff, right? The court said she should go and pay back over 900 billion naira. That before anything, you have to go and pay back 900 billion. Wait, kilote. I do it to you. You know what I mean? Even their own court. Buy Shadia no payback up till now. And Shadia is working free. Absolutely. So this is the style of APC. If you don't know the pattern, if you don't know them very well, you will be out there thinking those who are calling them out are just doing so because they don't like Tifnumbu. Beyond not liking Tifnumbu, whether you like her or you know, that's not his actions, the actions and inactions of this Tifnumbu and his gang, and what they have done to you. Enough that everything seems like the more things changes, the more they remain the same, kind of. I don't have the audience, you know. So that's what they do. Today, they've removed the subsidy on your electricity. They have increased the cost of darkness. But they've turned the corner. You're a stunned corner. Which corner? The curve. Right, that's a different one. Because this is a Nigerian who can tell you if the thing don't turn corner, I mean don't bend corner.
Gentlemen, Nigeria, this is why you must come out for a very serious movement. I mean everybody. Apparently everybody in this country is indirectly working for these politicians. Like this is indirect slavery. I'm going to show you something that will blow your mind now. If you're watching this place from any country outside Nigeria, you have to understand, all other countries have to understand that this administration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, has completely destroyed the entire future of Nigerian youths. iPhone 17 just came out, right? And iPhone 17 is priced around $1,200 plus tax and everything coming to Nigeria is going to make it approximately 2.something million naira. The average salary in Nigeria is 77,000 naira. I'm just going to increase it to 100,000 naira. Now, let's say your expenses, your house rent, your feeding money, and other expenses in the month is 50,000 naira out of that 100,000 naira. It simply means that you have to be saving 50,000 naira. You are painstakingly saving that 50,000 naira to buy this iPhone 17 that just came out. Do you know how long you need to save it before you can afford the phone? You are going to save that money for 40 good months. And that is 3 years and 3 months. So if you want to buy iPhone 17 from your average salary in Nigeria now that I have even increased, it means that you are going to buy iPhone 17 in 2028. This economy is ridiculous, and why I am making this video now is somebody that call himself the president of this our country is talking about tax in 2026. Both you wey be man wey wan marry and the lady wey dey feel like say they wan come marry you, for you to get marriage in Nigeria, poor people marriage in Nigeria must cost you nothing less than 5 million naira. It must cost you nothing less than 5 million naira. Now let's say that you're having that working salary, you are saving 50,000 out of 100,000, which I have even increased. You are saving 50,000 every month. Do you know how long you are going to save money before you can marry? You are going to save for 100 good months. That is around 8 years. Start now to save money to marry. I mean 5 million naira to marry is going to be saved. It's going to be complete in around 2033. Now, know the shame for this country, and Nigerian youth are not doing anything. Somebody is talking about tax in 2026. I want to build house. You want to build house. The most simple house that you can build in Nigeria, even if it's 1 room, 1 toilet, just more house that you want. And in as much as you have a roof, you have a block house, you have a roof, you have doors, you have windows, it's going to cost you nothing less than 10 million naira in Nigeria. Do you know how long you are going to save that 50,000 before you can build a house in Nigeria? You are going to save it for 200 good months. That is approximately 16 years. This is how blurry the future of Nigerian youth has become because of this administration, and nobody is saying anything about it. Forget about you that is doing maybe anything that you are doing. Maybe you are doing some freelance work, or maybe you are doing Yahoo, or you own a business that is giving you sustenance, that is giving you more money than this. We are calculating this based on standard of living in Nigeria, because standard of living in a country can be approximately calculated from the average salary in that country. This is the standard of living in Nigeria. This is how deteriorated the system has become. And somebody is talking about tax in 2026. I'm making this video for Nigeria youths. You people that fail to understand how blurry your future has become. Has 15 million house, which is actually